outcome is already written. Tanzania votes, but it is not really a contest. Opposition leaders are in jail. Courts are legally forbidden from questioning results, and the president herself has vowed to crush any protest. It is democracy by design, a performance of choice where the ending is known before the ballot are even printed. And yet, amid this managed calm, a storm is brewing, citizens promising the mother of all demonstrations on election day itself. This isn't just another African election story. It is a constitutional paradox, a system where legality and legitimacy are miles apart. The Independent National Election Commission is running Tanzania's general election, selecting a president, members of parliament, and local councillors. But under new laws, critics say INEC has become an instrument of the ruling CCM, the Chama cha Mapinduzi party that has governed Tanzania uninterrupted since independence. Campaigning ended quietly. There are no real rallies from opposition parties because most of them have been disqualified, detained, or dismantled. The main opposition leaders are missing from the ballot, some charged with treason, others blocked by technicalities. So, yes, there is voting, but the competition, it is largely symbolic.
Yale magari ya polisi mnaona ni professional. Yale magari ya polisi mliona yanagaiwa kila mkoa ni professional. Usijidanganye ukaenda kuandamana. Yale magari yatakufuata ulipo. Na akikufuata ulipo, yale magari yakirusha bastola inapenda hivi. Bastola mpaka inapokufikia pap inakupiga.
Here is where Tanzania becomes a case study in controlled democracy. Article 41(7) of the Tanzanian Constitution is the most decisive and dangerous provision in this election. It states that once INEC declares a presidential winner, that declaration is final and binding. No court, no tribunal, no authority has the power to question it, even if fraud is proven. Even if evidence surfaces of manipulation, the Constitution forbids any judicial review. That means Tanzania's election can never legally be overturned. It is a perfect shield, one that turns a commission's announcement into constitutional gospel.
What we're seeing is a very coordinated strategy by the government to suppress the opposition and to silence dissenting voices. President Samia will run as for the presidency as the holder of the Chama cha Mapinduzi party, which is the ruling party, has been the ruling party since independence. The two other parties, the substantial ones, which is Chadema and Act Wazalendo, they have no candidates on the ballot paper this time around. Why? Because the government is using all means possible to ensure that the two parties do not appear anywhere across the board.
Meanwhile, Zanzibar, historically the flashpoint of Tanzanian politics, began voting early. Under the Zanzibar Election Act No. 4 of 2018, key workers like police and election staff cast their ballots ahead of the main polls. Officially, it is a logistical move, but in practice, it offers CCM a head start in a region long accused of ballot tampering. Zanzibar has often mirrored Tanzania's wider tensions, a semi-autonomous archipelago where political violence has flared after almost every vote. Early voting there sets the tone, and this year it is eerily quiet, too quiet.
Samia must go! 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 Samia must go!
President Samia Suluhu Hassan faces minor candidates. That is the official language. In truth, these are placeholders. The real opposition was removed long before campaign season began. Police raids, abductions, and intimidation have redefined Tanzania's political climate. Social media restrictions have silenced mobilization. Even journalists tread carefully, aware that wrong coverage could mean shutdowns or arrests. It is an election taking place under surveillance, a political process without political freedom. Reports of abduction and intimidation have multiplied. Critics disappear, activists deactivate their accounts, internet throttling has begun, a digital curfew to stop coordination of protest. Citizens whisper, not shout. The government's message is clear: stability over speech. But the silence isn't peace. It is pressure building under the surface.
A good example, the arrest of the Chadema chairperson Tundu Lissu. He's now been in arbitrary detention, I believe it's 205 days. He cannot run for presidency. He's being charged with the unbailable offense of treason. That by virtue of that alone, he cannot run for presidency. For Act Wazalendo, the presidential candidate Luhaga Mpina, he is actually a defector from Chama Pinduzi. He went to Act Wazalendo and he was disqualified by the Independent National Electoral Commission. They cited internal party procedure violations, and because of that, he will not be on the ballot box.
International observers from the African Union are on the ground, but their mission is purely ceremonial. The EU and Commonwealth pulled out, citing legal and structural limitations. AU observers can only watch, not intervene. Their final report might highlight irregularities, but under Tanzania's system, it changes nothing. And domestic monitors restricted, licensed and surveilled, civil society has been effectively neutralized. Now, the irony, even as the ruling party secures near total control, anger is spreading. Tanzanians are promising demonstrations on the exact day of the election, a rare show of defiance in a nation where dissent is dangerous. The government has responded by deploying more police and military units nationwide. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has publicly warned she'll crush any dissidents in the name of national security. What is being staged isn't just an election. It is a test of how much control a government can exert before people start to push back.
2025, the scenario has not changed. In fact, it has worsened, whereby we are seeing a wave of terror. We've seen unlawful killings happening in the country. We've seen disappearances of opposition leaders. We've seen disappearances of even very senior officials like a former ambassador of Tanzania to Cuba. We have seen closure of media outlets. We have seen closure of other online platforms.
Projections already suggest an 85% to 90% victory for Samia Suluhu Hassan. It will be hailed as proof of unity, but in truth, it is a coronation dressed as contest. By removing uncertainty, the government may be removing legitimacy too, because when people lose faith in ballots, they turn to the street. Tanzania is walking a thin line. Win the vote, lose the trust. So yes, Tanzania will vote, the president will win, and the law will forbid anyone from questioning it. But democracy isn't just about legalities, it is about legitimacy, and legitimacy cannot be legislated. The real test for Tanzania begins after the announcement, when citizens decide whether to accept the results or defy them. Because even in a system where no court can disagree, the people might. For Maisha TV, I'm William Juma.